When you encounter the dead, you bury the dead. And what do I mean by that? If you are interacting with an unconscious person, and understand that this individual has lost a connection to their spirit, and understand that we are spirit. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. We are spirit, life force, source energy, prana, chi, the observer, the watcher, governing a human body with access to tools or faculties, namely our mind power, our willpower, and our emotions. So the dead are not bodies in caskets. The dead are actually walking around here on planet Earth. These people have lost a connection to their spirit. So it is a type of dissociation, or it is a type of self-abandonment, because we are spiritual beings having a physical experience. So when you're interacting with someone, you're interacting with their spirit that is operating the body. But if the dead has lost a connection to their spirit, then you are not really talking to anyone, because they're not there. They are nowhere. They are not here in this dimension. So physically, you could be standing right beside them, but you're not talking to them because they are not there. We are not our bodies. We have a body. And this is why oftentimes you will be talking to people and it's almost like the lights are on, but nobody's really home. It's almost as if they cannot hear you. So they have ears, but they cannot hear because they are not there. They are not there to operate the tools. They checked out a very long time ago, oftentimes long before you met them. And this is why it is important to learn how to discern spirit, because we are spiritual beings having a physical experience. But the dead or the unconscious are ego beings having a physical experience with an abandoned spirit. So essentially, they are zombies walking around on planet Earth unawakened. They are asleep. They are deeply asleep. They are not here. They cannot really communicate with you because they don't exist. So again, it is important to learn how to discern the living from the dead, because Earth is 85% dark. Could be 80-20, 85-15. Sometimes it's even 90-10. On a very good day, if you're in a very good environment, maybe it's a 60-40. But Earth is 85% dark, and there are 8 billion people on this planet. So understand that most people that you encounter are unconscious. So it is important to discern the individual that is in front of you and their level of consciousness. So understand that there are more people that are stuck at the bottom of the Hawkins scale than there are people that are at the top of the Hawkins scale. And I'll give you a quick example of this, of what I mean by that 80%. So understand that everyone in that 80% isn't a pathological narcissist, or they're not the narcissistic sociopath, the narcopath, the psychopath, and so on, but they are closer to being unconscious than they are to be conscious. For example, a lot of you had family members and even friends that sided with your narcissistic abuser. If those individuals, if those flying monkeys, if those enablers sided with the narcissist over you, then they are closer to their vibration than they are to you. And that is how you can tell the 80-20, again, the 85-15. That is how you can tell the vibration that someone is on, because birds of a feather flock together. So it is important that you learn who is actually on your side. So when you encounter someone, vet the spirit. Ask them questions. For example, let's say you are dating and you encounter someone, ask questions. See the actual spirit that you are interacting with. So if the person, for example, states that all of their past relationships have failed and all of those people are abusive and everybody always leaves them, ask them, what part did you have to play in all of those relationships? And listen to the answer. Do they take accountability for their actions? Do they take responsibility? Or do they blame all their problems off on other people? Because pathological narcissists do not have accountability to give to you. You get to accountability when you get to the fourth dimension or higher, and they are stuck in the third dimension. Every day they wake up, they're in shame, so they are in the first dimension. And again, at best, they get to dysfunctional pride, and pride cometh before the fall, and they fall right back down to shame because they can't let go of their pride to get to courage. They cannot access the fourth dimension. So that is all she wrote. Pride is all they have to give. Pride is the most positive emotion that they can give to you. So discern the spirit that is in front of you. Is that spirit someone that is working on themselves? Do they value personal development? Do they value self-help? Are they growing individuals? Are they aging like wine? Are they like a glass of Pinot Noir? Or are they aging like milk? Are they curdling? Are they regressing? Because pathological narcissism is regressive. If you were in a relationship with a narcissist for 5 years, for example, you will see where that relationship went down over time like a failing stock, like the Titanic. And this is because you cannot build with a pathological narcissist because they embody destructive energy. They do not have a true self. They abandon spirit in childhood for a false self. They abandon spirit for the ego, the false self. They believe that they are the ego. And you'll see where when you question them, well, they get a narcissistic injury. And a narcissistic injury is when a pathological narcissist perceives a threat, whether real or imagined, that goes against their grandiose false self, that goes against the ego. So when they have a narcissistic injury, well, they pull the mask even tighter to their face. They don't want to take the mask off. The masks are glued to their face. And you see where when the pathological narcissist runs off with a new supply, then they put on another mask to dupe the new supply. Because that is how they live. So it is important to learn to discern and to identify individuals that are not growing. It is important to learn how to discern the dead from the living. Because pathological narcissists are dying stars. They are black holes. A black hole is a collapsed star. It is a star that is at the end of its life cycle. And that star is at about 5% luminosity. And then next year you will see where it is at 4% luminosity. And then the next year it is going to be at 3% luminosity because it is dying. They are dying spiritually. So physically they are walking around here like a zombie, but their spirits are shriveling up. And black holes only have the ability to consume light. So as a vibrant star, it is important that you get the courage to walk away and stay away. It is important that you get the courage to ascend and leave the dead where they belong. You bury the dead. You do not carry corpses on your back. You bury the dead. You grieve the dead. You have the funeral. You let go, because it is in letting go where you are able to ascend. Statistics say that most victims go back to their abusive relationships on average 7 times. So it could be less or it could be more, or it could even be infinite, because some people do not exit these toxic relationship cycles. So the average is 7, but again, it could be more, it could be less. And this is because we keep going back into the third dimension, into the second dimension, into the first dimension, into victim abuser consciousness. The only thing that you will find in victim abuser consciousness is, surprise, surprise, victims and abusers. So understand that in order to have healthy, blossoming, blooming relationships, this must be with individuals that have access to the fourth dimension or higher. Individuals that are working on themselves. Individuals that value personal development. Individuals that value self-help. Individuals that can take responsibility for their actions instead of blaming that off onto other people. This means that you must commune with the living. You do not commune with the dead. You bury the dead, and you bury the dead by letting go and ascending. Earth is 85% dark, so you go ahead and find the individuals that are in the 15% that are on your level. Because what you are seeking is also seeking you. And that really is the message for today, kind folks. Thank you for your continued support. Ensure that you are liking these videos. Ensure that you are subscribed for more empowering content. If you have any questions or feedback, go ahead and leave that in the comment section. Sheikah is a name. Thanks so much for your continued support. I'll see you in the next video.